Hey everyone, today we are going to go over how to do this hidden picture tutorial. So I'm going to show you how to do a few of the problems on the hidden picture, and I'm also going to give you an example of how to type it in, because that's going to be really important in this activity. If you don't know me, my name is Ms. Gillum and I am a math coach for the district. I used to be a teacher at Artisan and also at Central Park and at Lincoln Junior High. So I've taught everything from 4th to 8th grade, and I'm just here to help teach for Grimsley right now. So if you have any other questions after you watch this video, then you can ask your teacher, but you need to watch this video first. This is the hidden picture page. This is what yours should look like. We are going to work number 4 and 16 together so that you can see. And then after we work them, I'm going to show you how you are going to need to type them in. Okay, so we're going to actually start with number 4, and I'm sorry if it echoes. I'm in a room that has nothing on the walls, so it may echo a little. So I'm going to start with 4 because I feel like 1, 2, and 3 are pretty simple and you can work those on your own. And if you see me work number 4, that it might help you with number 1, 2, and 3 if you're stuck. So on number 4, we have our equation that has variables on both sides. Even when you have variables on both sides, you still need to think about distributive, combining, and then solving. So right now, if I look on both sides, there is this side, the left side, has no need to distribute or combine. But I notice I have 2 x's, so that means I need to combine on this side. So we are going to combine our x and a negative 4x. We have to remember that that's a negative 4. So I'm going to just write what's on the left down. But then we're going to look, and we have to remember that a single x means 1x, because that's all it is. It's just 1x. So 1x minus 4x leaves me with a negative 3x. So there's no distributing. We've now combined like terms. So now we can solve. Okay, your goal is to get your variables on one side and your whole numbers on another side. So on this one, you can choose whichever way you want to do it. But I'm going to move the x to the right side because I just think it'll be easier to just move the x. So we're going to have plus x and plus x, but we have to remember this plus x is plus 1x. Okay, so this right here cancels out. So we're left with negative 8. And then we have negative 3x plus 1x leaves us with a negative 2x. And then we're left to just solving our one-step equation. So we have to remember, anytime, guys, you see a number and a variable right beside each other, what that means is negative 2 times x. And so when you're solving, you're always undoing. So I'm going to undo that by dividing, because multiplication and division are opposites of each other. So negative 8 divided by negative 2 gives me 4. And then we have negative 2 divided by negative 2, which makes 1 whole, so that leaves me with 1 whole x. So our answer is 4 equals x. Okay, now we're going to take a look at how you're going to enter this into the hidden picture. So we just solved number 4. I'm going to show you what happens if you enter the wrong answer. So let's say someone got x equals negative 4, even though we know our answer is x equals 4. And you hit enter. Notice nothing happens. There's no check mark beside the problem, nothing. So to correct, we want to go back up here and rewrite it as x equals 4. And now you can see the check mark, and it also added to the image. Sorry, but I want you to see really closely how I typed it in, because that's going to be really important. Notice that I did x space equals 4. You will also need to do this when you are entering. I'm sorry, it keeps adjusting, but just so you're aware, that's what it looks like. Okay, we are going to do one more problem. We're going to do number 16 next. Okay, let's take a look at number 16. I thought I would do one of the harder problems on here. So this one, we are still going to look at our distributive, combining, solve. So if you need to write that down to remind yourself, okay, I need to distribute first, C, combine, S, solve, DCS. Okay, so we are going to distribute on both sides this time. And you can do them at the same time, because some say you can only do one, but you can do them at the same time. So we have negative 8 times 4, which gives me a negative 32, plus, well, actually, let's not add that. Negative 8 times positive 4 is going to give us a negative 32n. So I'm going to write it as a minus sign. And then same thing on this side. We're going to do the 8 times n plus 3. So it's like I have 8 groups of n plus 3. So 8 groups of n would be 8n plus 8 groups of 3 would be 24. So remember that groups of that you learned way back in like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade is still true when you are working these problems. Okay, so we are done with distributive. If I look now, I'm not really combining like terms on the same side, but we do need to combine our variables and our numbers that are not variables. So it's really your choice on how you want to do this next step. Like I said, for me, it depends on the numbers, whatever side makes sense. So I'm actually going to move my variables to the left this time. I'm going to subtract 8n and subtract 8n on this side. So that gets rid of my variable over here. And I don't recommend doing multiple steps on this part of it. So we have negative 32n minus 8n leaves me with a negative 40n, which is equal to, we are just left with 24. So now I've moved my variables to one side. Now we need to move our plain numbers to their own side. So to get rid of a negative 32, we're going to add 32 to both sides to keep it balanced. These will cancel out. We are left with negative 40n is equal to, and if I add that, I have 56. Okay, and then we're going to divide by negative 40 and divide by negative 40 on both sides, and we'll be left with n equals. So we have to think a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative. So we have negative 1 and 4/10, or 1.4. So that is how you would solve that. Now let's take a look at number 16. So remember, we got x equals negative, whoops, I didn't put the negative sign, 1 and 4/10. Notice it did not work. I did this on purpose because actually when I videoed this the first time I did this, and I was like, why is that not working? Look back at your equation and notice what is my variable. In this problem, it is not x. So we are going to need to go back and type it as n equals negative 1 and 4/10. So whatever variable it is matters. So there we go. So that is the start of your picture. So now you have 2 of the things. I hope this helped. If you have any other questions, I recommend asking one of your groups. But remember, you should be writing all of your work on a sheet of paper because that is going to be turned in along with, you're going to hit submit when you finish this on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, let your teacher know. Have a great day.